Hi, my name is Megan Hargrave. I am an education coach and consultant who supports schools around the globe, mostly in reading and writing best practices. And I am on here today to just do a quick little mini lecture, if you will, around how you might support writers who are struggling to generate ideas. We know that for ourselves as adults and for kids as learners, coming up with an idea is sometimes the hardest part. And since generating ideas is the first part of the writing process that many of your students are going through, I thought I would offer you some suggestions for ways that you can support your writers in generating ideas on their own. I think sometimes we are very tempted to give the idea, but the next time your writer asks for help, instead maybe try one of these strategies. So when we think about generating ideas, there's really three different things that are my tried and true ways for writers to generate ideas, myself included. And the first one that I use over and over again is generating a list of everys. What are those things that you do over and over again in your life? What are the things you do every day, every weekend, every summer, every winter, every holiday? And so you can encourage writers to make a list of everys. And so they can say, what are some of those things that I do every day? Well, not every, but most. I run, or I cook dinner, or I drive. Some of you live in New York City, or you take the subway. What are those things I do every summer? I ski, I go to Gull Lake, I celebrate the 4th of July. What are those things I do every holiday? I celebrate Christmas, and so I eat cheese grits with my family, and I visit Evansville, and I might go to Christmas Eve Mass. And so by doing this, I've helped myself come up with some content for what I might write about. If it's a narrative, maybe I'm going to tell a story about one of these things. If it's an informative piece, I'm going to teach about one of these things. If it's an opinion piece, I might have an opinion about one of these things. So my first tried and true generating idea strategy is think of a list of everys. My second one is just to have writers think about people, places, and things. People, places, and things that are close to them, people and places and things that they spend time with, places they visit, things that they use. This is a pretty simple one. Again, will support writing for narrative, information, and opinion. But they can think of people, my mom, my dad, my best friend Sarah, my teacher, Mrs. McHugh. They can think of the mailman, and are they going to tell stories about these people? Are they going to teach about these people or an event with these people? Are they going to have an opinion? Same thing with places. And I could think about places like my bedroom or the kitchen or our classroom, or I can think about bigger places, Nisswa, Minnesota, Iowa City, Iowa. I might even think about my school as a place. So the possibilities are endless, but thinking of places leads us to tell stories about those places, teach people about those places, or have opinions. Same thing with things. Anything from your running shoes to a framed picture of your family to your favorite blankie or stuffed animal. Things will also lead to stories, will lead to things that we can teach people about and information pieces, and will lead to opinions. And then last but not least, one of my favorites that we don't often think of, it's kind of a unique one, is to think about beginnings, middles, and ends. And this will often, it's a little bit more difficult than these two, but it will really help writers outgrow their initial idea. And so maybe they're going to think about the beginning and middle and end of their day. What are things that happen in the beginning, the middle, and the end? What are stories that happen in the beginning, in the middle, and the end? Are they going to think about the beginning, the middle, and the end of this week or a typical week? Are they going to think about the beginning, the middle, and the end of this month or this year or this season? Of course, you could do different things like think about the beginning, the middle, and the end of e-learning, or think about the beginning, the middle, and the end of winter vacation, or think about the beginning, the middle, and the end of a family trip. But often, if you can help kids not just think about our family trip, but think about it in parts, beginning, middle, and end, or the beginning and the end, thinking in those parts will often lead to deeper ideas and probably to more ideas for your writers. So when we think of ways to help our writers come up with ideas of what to write about, support them in coming up with a list of everys, encourage them to think of people, places, and things, and then maybe encourage them to think about parts. Parts being beginnings, middles, and ends of lots of different categories. I hope this helps. Let me know how it goes.